Oh, yeah, one of our characters is a fire swallower. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And I'm just a pyromaniac who really likes bombs and fire.
And what's great is we collaborated and we're twin sisters.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's
Twin
amazing.
goblins.
That's amazing. Alright, let me fix that picture for you real quick, so we at least have that in here. Let's edit. This would probably be the easiest way to do that. Cool, that works. Okay, save that.
Oh, one big difference too for Pathfinder
Oh yeah.
that I really like, and you're aware of the aid mechanic, is where like when somebody does a check, if I want to do a check too, rather than all players rolling a check and then seeing, you can help a buddy do like a perception check or an investigation check, and it's like a flat. You both roll it. Somebody's the primary, and then the secondary, if they roll like 10 or above, it adds a bonus to the primary's result.
Right.
Or if you critically fail, like you're helping them in a non-helpful way, and so then they take a -1 penalty or a -2 penalty to the check. It's an interesting, fun mechanic to reduce all players blasting a bunch of dice out and learning different things, and then dealing with like that meta stuff.
Right. Okay, so Riz, so I know you're new to this system and stuff. So there's like a tracker thing that Pathfinder's got, which is really handy, that kind of walks through the process of choosing your stuff. And okay, looks like you do have that open there. Nice. So yeah, if you kind of follow those through, sometimes there's going to be some things where it like wants you to add a certain thing. So for example, like right now it said like add 1 ancestry feat down in like the little bottom like rolling text part. So if you want to see those feats, there's those quick filter buttons. So you have ancestry, which is the ink, and then you have general feats, skill feats, class feats, and character dedication feats. So if you choose ancestry, and that'll go ahead.
I'm trying to add my heritage at the moment.
Okay.
Which that one should pop up automatically, and you should be able to just hit add to it. That's where I'm at too. Now I'm at that ancestry feat part.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you choose Charhide Goblin for heritage? Okay, I assumed.
Makes sense.
And then that's not what I wanted.
So let's see here.
Wait.
I love the ancestry feats for this doll race are washout is kind of weird. It lets you get poisons out of your body really quick, but then there's shiny button eyes where you get +1 to perception.
Shiny button eyes.
Yeah. Then there's quadruped, which increases your speed a little bit because I've got stumpy little legs.
So quadruped meaning you like move on all fours, probably backwards with your head tilted the other way.
You could, yeah, or you could. It says you were crafted in a form with 4 legs, but I think a liberal DM would let that
So
happen.
like one of Sid's toys from Toy Story 1.
So, on that note, that's why I'm bringing this up, because I'm torn between 2. I'm torn between Helpful Poppet, which is just +2 bonuses whenever I aid anybody, because I want to be helpful, or Harmless Doll. You look like nothing more than an ordinary doll, and you could fool others and hide without having to do concealment or do any cover. If you're in a situation where that's appropriate, essentially Toy Story, like Toy Story, and you just whoop, and people don't realize it.
Okay, so should we have like kind of like a marionette thing where like part of the act is there's like I was thinking like a bunch of Punch and Judy kind of things. Like our characters would be like Punch. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I do not. Explain it to me. I'm sorry.
So Punch and Judy is like that classic kind of like puppet show where one of them hits the other with a bat. It's existed since before medieval times and has been adapted throughout Europe and like all of the fucking Western Hemisphere since like 1100.
Okay, I dig.
Maybe not that far back, but still, like it's like the whatever, kind of like it's the honeymooners but with puppets.
Yeah, here's like a picture, like one of those.
Okay, yep, I'm into it. I got it. Yep, let's do it.
I'm sorry, stupid question here. On this Ancestry feat, do I drag that onto the abilities page to feats, right?
No.
So where does it go?
When you, sorry, this is your turn.
Oh no, go ahead, because like I'm still kind of figuring this out too.
Okay, I'm gonna apologize in advance. Kick me in the face. I don't want to accidentally step on your toe.
No, you're not at all. Like I'm well aware you know how this shit works a lot more than I do, so feel free to chime in whenever.
When you're going to add your feats, right? Essentially, from your tracker, you're doing your ancestry feats. So you click on that ancestry feats filter from the tracker, and it'll show you the feats available to you. And in the same way that you clicked like add to PC for your ancestry, you do that for your feat.
What?
There's an add to PC button next to each of the feats when I'm looking in here. There's actually one. There's one on the far left side and there's one on the far right side for each one.
So
can you look at it? I'm sharing my screen for you, Brittany.
Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen in Discord, Brittany. So if you go into Discord,
I have to do Discord on my phone. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really. Here, never mind. I'm gonna.
Sorry.
Let me take control for a minute, and I'll get you where you need to go.
You're good.
I just gotta get.
I think I'm just probably looking at it in the wrong spot.
Okay. And were you finding those things fine, Riz, on your end, where those were for adding those to your PC?
No.
No? Okay.
Okay, so how did you get there?
Okay, so...
so are you saying... So it's saying in red, add 1 ancestry feat.
Correct.
So you're saying then I need, like, in the black bar above, where it's saying feat quick filters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Click ink.
I was looking at it in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you click A and C, that will show you just the ancestry feats that are relevant to the ancestry that you chose.
At your level.
At your level, yeah. So you can only see the level 1 goblin ancestry feats, and so all of these have add to PC, which is if you do that, that'll fulfill that and add that to your thing. And then of course it has the usual little button to click for more details if you want to get
that red button.
Yeah, the little red button with the dragon on it. That's the little like it's like the shield was in when we were in 5e that opened up like the more details on notes or clicking on anything.
Got it.
But yeah, whenever you choose which one of those you want, add to PC, and that will appropriately do it where it needs to go.
Okay, and then I just want to make sure I'm still going about this right. Now, that part's done, and it says 2 backgrounds, so I can just go in now and add my background, right?
You click that background where it says 2 background, click that thing, and it's going to pop your available backgrounds.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
And then you're going to go to add to PC in the scene.
Okay. All right.
Guys, I'll be back in
Okay.
live.
I'm kind of remembering
Cool.
it now.
Yep.
It's just been so freaking long since I did this.
Yeah, like with all of it, you always want to click
really
the
do make it
thing
easy,
in
then.
the tracker to get to where you need to go. Because otherwise, like if you're dragging it from elsewhere, the tracker may not like recognize that you're doing it right. So yeah, you always want to click like in that tracker, like click on the ancestry, click on the background, click on the class.
In general, like really, you're 100%, you're 90% correct, and you're up. You know, from what I've told you, really where it really matters is when you're leveling up. If you drag and drop a feat, it's okay and it'll work. It's just easier to do it that way and then teach everybody the uniform way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you worry about like exceptions later, yeah.
This tracker is God, right? It's so good because then as a DM, you can go in and audit a character sheet if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have too many feats? What should they have? It's all there, you know. Do they not have enough feats? Is usually, you know, what I find is characters are like underpowered. Oh, I didn't see that I get this with Clown, but I get an extra +1 bonus and eventually +2 bonus in a certain specialty kind of acting. Yeah, or specialty kind of performance. Acting is what I'm going to go for, of course. Maybe I'll go with comedy, actually.
Yeah, I am very interested to see, because like this, like along with like the kind of general story that this campaign has going on, it's got like a fairly in-depth like circus running system that it has, which is very interesting. So it's got like there's like a whole like sheet that I have that we like fill out to like do it all like appropriately if we do the whole thing. So there's like, you know, like the build up of like doing like what you're doing out in the town to like build up the anticipation, and that like gets like a certain amount, like an anticipation value of like however much anticipation you've generated. And then like for the show, like the stuff that you do during the show generates excitement, and you have to do enough excitement in the show to meet or exceed the anticipation for the show, to be able to like get like the full payout of cash from your performance, because otherwise you didn't like live up to the hype and people were like, oh boo, that sucked. But then like the show itself, like you have like a whole fucking like big top tent with like different rings, and there's like a couple different like acts. You know, you got like your little side acts, you got like your big number, you got your whatever, and like, you know, you guys have stuff that you do, and then there's all these other people that are part of the circus as well that have stuff that they do. And there's like a bunch of different checks that get done, you know, when you plan a show, you know, for how successful, you know, like the trick was, like, you know, like were they trying to escape from a box and something got fucked, or, you know, whatever, things like that. Yeah, it's like a whole in-depth system, and it's neat because like they have options for like making it really really simple, because like there are some people like when they do it they're just like, okay, I don't really care too much about the circus, just let it like run itself, and maybe every once in a while we'll do stuff, but we don't want to like manage the heck out of it. But other people like really get into the circus, and so they have like a whole like that whole setup for running that as well, so it'll be kind of interesting to play around with that.
That makes me excited. Like, I'm really excited to hear that. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's stuff I'm into. And that's something that's kind of neat about Paizo, is they usually try and include some sort of like kind of odd custom mechanism in most campaigns. Like there's like in Starfinder ones I've run, there's been like an in-depth like madness and like gaslighting mechanism that you would use and stuff. So that makes me really hyped because I know they're good at those sub mechanisms.
Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, Riz, I see you just put your class in there, and so now you got a couple more red things. that popped up.
Yep, I'm trying to go through stuff right now.
Okay, so the ones that you have that just showed. So like, there's the one about.
I still have a menu open, honey.
Oh, you still have menu open. Okay. I can't see those ones. I just see your tracker.
Calm down.
Oh, dang it. I think I fucked my thing up.
Yeah,
I missed the thing on my class.
You too.
Is that gonna totally fuck it up?
Which, what thing?
In class, I missed the Alchemist feats in red before going to the free boost because so much stuff added. I didn't see that.
No, you're fine.
Okay,
You just go at it.
Okay.
So for that for the quick filter, that would be under class, right?
If it's a feat for your class, it'll be under the class one, and then skill feat will be under the skill one, and then if you have like the train yourself in whatever number of skills, that's just on the skills tab of your character sheet. And if you click on like the little proficiency column box, that will like let you change a thing to like no proficiency to trained to expert to master to legendary. But at this point nobody's going to be
right.
Nobody's really going to be much past expert probably. Depending.
You can't be.
Yeah.
Because you're level restricted.
Oh, they are level restricted.
Watch that because you can accidentally, within the character sheet, like in the tracker, can sometimes lead you to believe you could become a master by level 2 or whatever. You can't. You'd have to look, but there's a rule for that. You can only become an expert in like 1 at level 1, and then as you level up, you can, you'll get higher.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So. I'm sorry, I don't remember the training in total of 5 skills. That's where I.
Yeah, that's where you click. Yeah, so if you go under skills, there's that column labeled proficiency or just prof, and when you click on the little box, it'll change from like just a dash to a T, and then an E, and then an M, and then an L. So training is just T. That's the first like tier, and then expert E. Master M, legendary L.
Okay.
So of that whole list, if you have like 6 or 7 or something that you have to do.
It says train in a total of 5 skills. Add 1 more train skill if you increase your intelligence in step 4.
Okay.
Which I did, so I would have 6.
Yep. So yeah, it's just 6 of the ones in that list.
Okay.
Pick
skill, and I can pick whatever I want.
Yeah, and I think like Quick said, you can only have like 1 that is an expert so far. So like if you have one that's like a T already from, if you don't
have a T in crafting, like
yeah, and if you don't have any other E's, like if you don't have any E's, one of these can be made into an E right now. But otherwise, the rest of them are like your other skills. You're gonna have to change into a T. You have to be trained in them, but you can't go higher than expert yet.
Okay.
I should find you the clip that helped me decide on like some of the a lot of the inspiration for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So the concept is this depressed dude gets transported to a world where you gain classes based on what you do, and he has no idea about like anything about the world because he comes from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a 1-hour short story, and he comes in and he is depressed, he's fat, he knows he's fat, and he is self-deprecating constantly, and so he gains the clown class and eventually like gains skills that like force other people to like constantly laugh around him, and like terrible bad thing that are terrible to be around and have to like constantly laugh when you don't want to, and blah blah blah. Anyway, village gets attacked, everybody runs away. He decides finally, he bonds with the little kid that he saw, a little street urchin, but the demon kills the little street urchin. So then he unlocks like super clown and starts dropping like terrible horrible dad jokes, and then like they're so bad that like demons' heads explode. Like it's a bad short story, but like yeah.
Oh my god. That's fantastic.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to be annoying with this, guys.
No, it's fine. It's fine. That's what this whole
questions.
first session is figuring shit out.
Okay, so I did all the red stuff. I've done up to 4. Nothing else has popped up. So now can I go in and like add my weapon?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think once the tracker doesn't have any new stuff, yeah, then you can like do your. Because the tracker, I think, mainly just does like your feats and like class related.
Yeah, like
stuff.
the last thing it should ask you is, do you want your default class equipment kit?
And I got that already.
So then you say yes, and then what it does, because you get a certain amount of wealth at the beginning where you could be like, I'm going to buy X, Y, and Z. So what it does is it takes a set amount away from that, gives you your stuff, and then gives you some money. So you should have at least a weapon or 2, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not the ones I want.
Yeah, so then you'll go and spend your silver on those.
Okay, and then just delete the other stuff.
Why would you do that? You can sell it.
Yeah, you can sell it.
Fine,
You're
whatever.
a carny, girl. You got to
It's
start
true.
hoarding.
Okay, and now my next question is alchemist specific.
Okay.
I'm slightly confused on how many formulas I'm supposed to have.
Okay, I'm trying to remember how this worked because
So
I did
like,
the alchemist with Harold.
Right. So like I'm looking at the book right now, and it says like the formula book contains the formulas for 2 common first level items of your choice, in addition to those you gain from crafting and your research field. And then under my research field, it says I have 2 first levels in addition to your other formulas. So would that mean I have 4 formulas to pick 4 alchemist items?
If I remember correctly, yeah, because I feel like if I remember right, when I first got set up with my alchemist with Harold, I had like misunderstood how that worked and had like way less of those. Or wait, no, I was doing like bombs. I had misunderstood how the bombs worked, and I had way less bombs than I thought I had, and I figured that out later. There was I have like, where is it? Let me find it here. There was this like Google Doc that I had found that was this guy's like guide to like alchemist feats and stuff, and like the bombs and mutagens and other stuff that was like really, really handy, especially since he like color codes a lot of the stuff as to like usefulness tier of like some of the feats, in terms of like, you know, if they like I assume they're mostly, I don't know if it's all just like his opinion or just whatever else, but he has like everything kind of color coded as to like, okay, like these feats, you know, are pretty helpful. You know, these feats are kind of like,
those are really good, yeah.
Flavor more than like they actually get you anything useful. But here, let me find. I have a bookmark somewhere from when
I'm using this. I'm using that right now, while I'm, you know, as a light guide to kind of what is terrible. That's kind of what I use to look at, because like some things you're like, oh, that's a good idea, and then you go look at his explanation, and he'll be like, well, in practice, this is kind of what this looks like, and this is why this isn't a great idea.
Mm-hmm. All right, I put that Google Doc in there. That was really handy for me when I did Harold, just to kind of get some ideas. Okay, maybe using like this combination of things, like sure, that's cool, but like in terms of like in like a fight, it would like do jack shit. So it was like, okay, well maybe I gotta refigure out what I want to do there. But yeah, that was very useful.
Yeah, I was just kind of reading it, and I was like, well, it sounds like I get to pick 4 items, but I'm not 100% sure, and so like I just picked 4 items in case that was correct, but
see, and I'm trying to remember if are those in here already? Okay, good. They are in here. I was making sure that the weapon that you were telling me about Riz was in here, but yeah, I guess that one is from the module itself, so they are in here. Your hoops.
I'm not seeing any of the modules or anything in the library.
Have you loaded them up? They should all be.
They're there. You just gotta.
Okay, there's a button called activation underneath library. Got it.
Yep. Yeah. Like once you activate them, the book should turn into like a little open book. And yeah, all the ones that are available to you, you should be able to turn on, because those are all the ones that have all of the various class things that people were looking for that they mentioned. So turn them all on, and that'll have everything you need.
Oh, I love this. I have to pick a muse. My muse is going to be the dad that created me, but before I was born, the puppet that came before me that he used to tell dad jokes to his kids. That's my muse. A dad with dad jokes.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
I've got a whole database of jokes.
God. So... Oh, go ahead, Riz.
I messed something up.
What's up?
Well, it let me click add a level, and so now it's saying rogue level 2.
Yeah, the add a level button is for when you level up. I don't know if there's a way to undo that.
You can choose not to add the stuff and manually adjust your hit points and stuff back down.
Yeah,
or you can start over.
Yeah, or if you just like take a note of the things that you'd picked.
I fixed it.
You fixed it? You fixed it, okay.
You can click the field and then manually change from 2 to 1, and it decreased my hit points as well.
There you go.
Okay. There you go. Yep, yeah, when we do level up, that's how you level up, though. You click the add level button, and it'll tell you to add the appropriate. So yeah, ignore those most recent red things for Skill Feat 2 and Rogue Feat 2 and whatnot, since those were from that. So one thing to be thinking about, and we'll go into this a little more detail once people get their stuff set up, is so just like a little bit of general background, and we'll kind of get into some more detail of this. So this circus that you guys are part of, this circus of Wayward Wonders, like you guys like didn't all just like join like right now. Like the people that are in a circus, like you know them, like you've been practicing with them for like a few months, and from before that, like the way this circus came about is that there was like all of the NPCs, and possibly some of you as well, that's up to you, were part of a much larger circus that was the Celestial Menagerie, and who was run by this kind of cruel gal. And the guy who runs this circus and a bunch of you got really fed up with like the lack of safety and care for, you know, the people that worked there. You know, like oftentimes you guys were made to perform, you know, without safety nets and lines and things. People broke stuff, there were injuries, there wasn't adequate medical care. You know, there was, you know, a lot of like dehumanizing and stuff like that. It was a very cruelly run place. And so a lot of like all the NPCs, and you know, some of you assumedly, depending on what you choose, left the Celestial Menagerie and decided to go and make your own show that was, you know, kind of like positive and not dehumanizing and had proper care for everybody and like respected the art, you know, of the showmanship and stuff like that. And so you guys made this. You guys have been practicing for a few months, and like this, where we start, is like your like right before like your first, like your debut as this Circus of Wayward Wonders that you guys have made. And so there's a number of NPCs that are in this circus along with you, and I'll give you guys like a list and some kind of just basic descriptions of some of them. And we're going to want you to think about, you know, pick like maybe 2 of them that you have like some sort of relationship with, whether that be like they become a friend of yours, they're a mentor of yours somehow, they're a rival of yours in some way, you know, whatever kind of relationship you want that to be. I'll leave that up to you. I'll get that list to you guys, and we'll kind of do that a little bit later once people get their characters sorted, just to kind of get some connections going, because this isn't one of those campaigns where we start in a tavern and we all just kind of happen to be sitting there having a drink at the same time, and we're like, oh shit, a ogre appears and here we go. Like you know these people, and you've been like working towards this for a little while. So I have a list of them, but I gotta pull out some stuff that is stuff you're not supposed to know yet.
While you're doing that, I have 2 more questions.
Fire away.
For my alchemist, like items I have to choose, do I just put those in my inventory, right?
Yeah, should be. For like your weapons and your other tools and things. Okay. Yeah, that should be kind of just like how you did items in 5e step before. Just drag them from the menu.
And then how do I sell stuff that I don't want?
I don't think there's like a direct way. It'd be more of like you delete it and then I tell you how much money you get.
Some of them actually like say how much they're worth. Or I guess it's the price.
Oh, okay.
Like for example, this dagger. That's not the weapon I wanted, but it came with like the like pack. It says the price is 2 SP. So what I just.
Yeah, if it's one of those ones where like it says like how much it's worth. Yeah, if you want to sell that by removing it from your inventory and just giving yourself 2 SP, like. Sure, that's fine. I'm not gonna.
Okay. Well, it's not working to drag and drop my alchemist items.
Where are those? Are that in the items menu that you're seeing? Like, what is one of the ones you're looking for?
Like alchemist fire is one that I want.
Okay, that's not there. Where is that?
Maybe it's just my computer being dumb.
I'm trying to find it. Oh, alchemist fire. Here it is. Okay, let me try dropping one of these in here for you. Alchemist fire. There we go.
Okay.
Should be at the top of your list.
Yep, I see that one. And then, yeah, I need to get 3 more here. See if I can get it to work.
How do I add a weapon?
So if you're looking for your hoops,
yeah.
So if you click on, if you haven't like roll open the campaign option on the right hand sidebar, and you should see items in that list.
And it's got the quick filters in there too.
Yeah, it's got the quick filters for weapons, or you can just use the search bar at the bottom, and if you search for hoop, the bladed hoop that you were looking for, should be right in there, and you can just drag that right over.
Okay, Mooga, I need help with these other 3. I still can't get it to drag and drop.
Okay, yeah, I'll do them for you. Oh, what are the other ones you're wanting?
Tanglefoot, Thunderstone, and Smokestick.
Okay, Tanglefoot, bag, Okay. Thunder. Stone. Now, if I remember right, unless something has changed since we did our other one, to like set up like the spell for these for combat, I had to like manually set those up as like an action. So I had to like make like an empty spell under the actions, then like put in like the 1d whatever roll things that it wanted. I'm not sure. We'll see if that's still the case. What was the one after the Thunderstone?
Smoke stick.
Smoke. Okay, smoke stick. There it is.
I see them all.
Okay.
So, just so you guys know, I will, I'm a bard, not a cleric, but I will have a little bit of healing.
Okay.
It will be, it's a soothe spell, so it's very basic, but I can do some healing. It'll be performed like this. I'm told that petting someone's head helps them feel better when they're sick. And then I will try and pet your head. Or something just as creepy. Like, I am told
Well,
that
you are a creepy motherfucker.
wrapping a bandage around a scratch will help you. Let me wrap a bandage around your...
I don't think we're gonna talk much.
He said, we'll be best friends. I know it. Everybody's gonna be my best friend.
Oh God.
But yeah, it looks like it doesn't bring those in automatically under weapons or spells or whatever on there.
Okay, I might need a little help figuring out how to build
Yeah,
that
I'm
down.
trying to remember how, because I think if I remember right, what I think I had done for that is I just like grabbed some random basic spell and like dropped it there, and then like changed the name, and then like manually went into the details for the spell and like changed the damage to the appropriate whatever. And if there was some sort of like, save they had to roll, there's like a thing you can put in for the save DC as well.
A lot of them have spell analogs too that you could just add.
Oh yeah, yeah. Some of them did. Yeah, so like I think like Alchemist Fire is like similar to. Let me see. Spells. Here. Yeah, it's not like exactly the same, but like for like a level 1 like spell, you could like grab Fire Ray and then just go in and manually adjust the damage die numbers for whatever it says that Alchemist Fire is supposed to be. But yeah, I remember having to do that with Heralds for that campaign, as I had to like go in and like manually just tweak some of the spells for stuff.
Okay.
So like for example, like let me so where is, let me find Alchemist Fire in your inventory here. Okay, so your Alchemist Fire has 1d8, and then it has the persistent fire damage, which is more something I'll have to do manually on each turn, and then the splash damage is when you initially throw it. So if I drop this fire, let's see, where is spells? Add. Oh, that's right. I could just add one. I forgot that button was there. Okay, so if you go to your actions tab of your sheet,
Okay.
So down at the very bottom, there's a couple blue buttons. There's an add weapon and an add spell and add focus spell class. If you click on add spell class, that should just add like an empty spell.
Okay, yep, I see.
I think. Hold on.
So it like, yeah, because there's like a little blank spot with a book where you put the name, and then it's got a bunch of crap under it.
Yeah.
Like spell roll plus DC total ability proficiency.
I think. Hold
That's
on.
the right thing.
Hold on, I'm checking something. I'm just testing something here on your sheet. Oh, I see. So, okay. So at like before you, at least it seems like the way that they're sorting this on your sheet, like there's this kind of big fancier heading with like the gold like tooling around the edges, like kind of like your weapons one has. That seems to like designate like a separate like type. So like you have your weapons header and then your club are under that weapons header. So let's say this class one is your alchemist stuff. And so you can see I dragged and dropped fire ray under there.
Mm-hmm.
If you click on the little magnifying glass next to fire ray,
okay,
here's the stuff that is relevant to us here. So I think if we change, so instead of 2d6, oops, I wasn't supposed to roll that. How? If you click on like the magnifying glass next to 2d6, that'll bring up like the little damage stuff. So you would just need to change it to, so the dice we would change to 1. How do I change this? I think you can just drag a dice. Let's see. Okay, you can just drag a dice, but how do I get rid of the other dice? Okay, I can just clear the dice. There we go. 1d8.
Oops. Okay. And then that even has persistent fire.
Yeah, I think that's just
flash damage. Is that?
At least if I remember how we did it with Heralds, is we just kind of did that one manually. Because I don't know if there was a way to like really calculate it to do an appropriate like with the stuff.
You can get it to do a persistent one, but like
the splash one was just kind of like, okay, you're throwing it at that guy. Are these other guys close enough in the radius? I'll just throw a damage on them from the splash. So we had to like kind of do that manually. Yeah, but the persistent one though, I should be able to change this to see, because there shouldn't, because it's just 1. So if we take that out and just do,
you make an effect, right? You need to. So what you need to do. Here's how I do this as a DM.
Okay.
My process is player needs to do this, so I'm gonna go find a spell that has a persistent damage effect on it, because then I can see how it needs to be built. And then I can right click and add the effect, but to the other spell. So like try and find like an acid. If you're looking for persistent, look for like some acid spells, and you should be able to like. I usually have an exam or a character sheet that I fuck with as a DM, so I'll drop the spell on that sheet or whatever. Look at the effects, and then you kind of can see how it needs to be built out on the one.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, there's actually so like I'm looking at Acid Splash, and it actually has like a splash.
There you go.
Thing. So now I got to figure out how. So now I got to figure out how to add. So add spell action. Oh, here we go. Yeah, add spell action. Okay, so just so you know how I'm doing this, since you can't see what I'm doing. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at that alchemist fire that we modified on your actions tab, and I right clicked on, kind of just on like near where it has the 1d8 fire, and it brings up a little menu, and one of the options is add spell action, which is the little like arrow pointing downwards ish. And it has a few options. It has add a cast, add a damage, add a heal, and add an effect. So if we do add damage, that adds another one of the damage things. So we're going to set up the persistent. And let's see, spell damage. So this is, how is this one set up? Let me just compare. Okay. So this other one's set up, the type is fire, splash under the type. And since it's just 1, it doesn't involve any dice. We just put in a 1 in like the modifier, because there's no other dice rolls for the splash. It's just 1 flat damage. So that's the splash one set up. And then we just do the same thing for the effect. We right click, add spell action, add effect. And then if we copy this, okay, so okay, I don't think I need that. Is that, I think Acid Splash only does that on persistent crit, so I don't think I need that part. Oh, okay, yeah. So we don't need that part because this always does persistent. This isn't only on critical success. So PERS, persistent, 1 fire, and target start a turn. Effect DC. Okay, I think that should do it. So that should be the Alchemist Fire. 1d8 fire, 1 fire splash, and then persistent 1 fire effect. That should do that automatically, I think. And if it doesn't work, because like that one has has persistent just abbreviated as PERS in all caps. But if that doesn't work, I saw another one that was persistent all written out. So we can always try it the other way if it doesn't work. But
okay,
that should be that one. But the other ones, I don't know what is the other ones. I think the Tanglefoot one is just like a
Tanglefoot just target takes a minus 10-foot penalty and escape DC is 17. So that one, I don't think
that one I don't think I ever set up like an action tab thing for.
Thunderstone.
That one
deal
does
1d4 sonic damage and 1 sonic splash damage, and DC is 17.
Okay. So if we go to spells. Okay. Let's see. It doesn't really matter what spell since we're changing it, but.
And I don't think we'll have to build the smoke stick one because.
That's just like an obscure thing, right?
Yeah, it says radius of the burst is 5 foot, so we should only have to build these 2.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say for the thunder one, like if you want, you can probably just drag another, fire ray or something in there, and then just change, like when you're editing it, and set where all the places where it says, like where we put fire, put thunder or sonic or whatever it says it is instead.
Fire ray.
Yeah, can you, or maybe we can just duplicate what we already got. Can we? Let's see. Can we duplicate this? Oops. Trying to see if I can just copy what we already have and then make it again. Let's see. No. No. Unless. Add. Nope. Yeah, it looks like the. Well, what if we do this? Nope. Okay. Yeah, I would just add like Fire Ray in there again, and then just change the name and change the fire damage to whatever it needs to be.
So it wouldn't let me.
It wouldn't let you do it.
No, it won't let me drag it in.
Okay, yeah, I remember it was a little funky for me too. I remember it being. Let's see, fire Pray. Okay. Oop. Maybe I need to change something. Oh, that's why. Maybe if we do that. No. Oh, there we go. It looks like you have to drop it in like the gold trim box, because like it wouldn't let, because like it kept popping up as a notice for me in the little chat, is that it couldn't determine like the spell class for it. But if you drop it into the gold trim box, then that seems to do it right. So yeah, go ahead and edit that Fire Ray one to be your Thunder Madoodle, and we'll get that figured out.
So where I'm in the thing where I edit it, so where it says type fire, I can just take that out and type sonic.
Yeah, if it says sonic damage, I'd do sonic.
Yeah, 1d4 sonic damage and 1 sonic splash damage.
Okay, and there's no.
I can clear these dice, and you said I could just. It will let you drag a die in there, right?
Yep, yeah. If you clear the dice, you can just drag and drop one of the little dice down in your corner right there, and it'll read it. So if you just drop a d4, that should do it for you.
Okay, and then how do I?
So for the splash, so if you open up that one, if you open up the other one. Is it just one?
One sonic splash damage.
Okay, so for under type, delete fire and persistent, and then kind of similar to the other one, do sonic, comma, splash. And then you're going to want to clear the dice.
Okay.
And then in the modifier box, way over to the right, type in 1. So that should just do 1 sonic splash.
Okay. So these should be good now then, right?
I think so.
Theoretically.
Theoretically, yeah, yeah. I remember with Heralds, there was a lot of kind of manual fuckery we had to do with some of the the bombs and the alchemist stuff, because it's not like all directly set up in here, which is fine. Riz, how are you doing over there?
I think I'm done. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's see. Looking at your tracker, so you got your name, you got your ancestry, you got your background, got that. Got some hit points. Good. Okay, I see you got your various things that are trained in your skills. Got stuff.
Are you both alchemists?
No.
I'm a rogue, but I took a feat so that I get 4 free level 1 alchemy recipes.
Okay.
Because we both grew up with a uncle that was an alchemist, so that seemed fitting.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah.
Cool.
And hopefully, I was trying to. I want to make sure we have good spread and everything. Especially if we kind of know each other, we probably would have kind of worked. We'd be in theory a semi-cohesive
we got
group.
together a little earlier and kind of hashed it out.
I don't want to waste.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't need to.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's kind of baked. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. That's perfectly fine. What do you got, Scene?
Pick my shit.
Yeah,
So
I don't know if there's anything else that I need to add. I know I'm gonna have to eventually add those 4 alchemy things, but I figure I can do that later.
Yeah, we can figure that out later. I don't think we're gonna get to any fighty things right now tonight. So
when you're ready, I have a doozy of an attack to give you.
Okay.
It's a reason I love Pathfinder. Just reading what I got.
Okay. What do you got?
Okay, so when I do my thing, which is the stumbling stance, I'm just going to give you the whole thing because it's so beautiful. You enter a seemingly unfocused stance that mimics the moving of the inebriated, bobbing, weaving, leaving false openings and distracting your enemies from your true movements. While in the stance, you get a +1 circumstance bonus to deception checks to feints. This is the part where I need help. The only strikes you can make are stumbling, swing, unarmed strikes. These deal 1d8 bludgeoning damage, are in the brawling group, have the agile, backstabber, finesse, non-lethal, and unarmed traits. 6 traits.
Okay.
If an enemy hits you with a melee strike while in this stance, it becomes flat-footed against the next stumbling string you make against it before your next turn. I'll let you know when to make them flat-footed against me.
Okay. Let's see. Let me see if there's... how... Let's see. Is there... I'm surprised there's not like an unarmed strike just in here that I'm seeing.
No, you got to build it out.
You got to build it out. Okay, it sounds like we're gonna have to do that anyways. All right, so I guess probably similar to the alchemist thing, we'll just want to find.
So I put the feat into the chat so you can see all the traits and stuff that it has.
Okay, so it looks like when I look in the weapons list, there is an unarmed attack fist weapon, and it looks like it has, I think it's all, most if not all, of brawler, agile, finesse, non-lethal, unarmed. I think that's all of them. I think that's already got most of it. So yeah, if you go to items,
finesse, backstabber, it also has
Okay, so we might need to add 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say so if you go to items and then sort by weapons, fist is right at the top. Drag one of those in.
I'm sorry, I don't see items.
Oh, do you have the campaign menu item that rolls open?
Yeah, with items. Okay, cool.
Okay.
It's a level 1 thing, I'm assuming.
Yeah. It's if you just click weapons at the top of the items pop-up box, it's like the very first thing in the weapons list is fist.
Fist.
There you go. Yeah, so drop that one into your actions, and I think we should be able to just add. Yeah, we could just
D8 and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, we can put in the blood, the backstabber, and whatever under traits. And if we need to modify anything else, we can. But that looks like it already has most of the stuff, so we can just work with that. And I think if you add the effect, you should be able to add an effect down under the effects part on the weapon pop-up. And I think you should be able to put the flat foot thing there, I'm pretty sure. Let me see if I can find something else that causes flat foot and see how it's set up. I'm trying to think what sort of things would do that. What causes flat footing? Let me see if I can find one. Pathfinder 2E. Okay, of course there's alchemist bombs that cause flat-footed, but those aren't programmed in anywhere, so I can't use those. Let's see. And I assume it's... Let me see here. Fantasy grounds, flat foot. Should be. So I think under effects, if we could just, I'm trying to find if Fantasy Grounds wants it like flat-footed one word, flat-footed, flat-footed, or what abbreviation they use for that for the effect. Because if we know what that is, we can put that in here.
For flat-footed?
Yeah. How does Fantasy Grounds, like for the effect for flat-footed or whatever?
That's AC -2.
Oh, that's what it does. AC -2. Okay.
Yeah, and flat-footed is really weird. So like,
Okay.
it's odd. It like applies only in certain circumstances, like how he was kind of describing.
Yeah, with his drunken
And,
stance,
like,
and yeah.
And it applies if target has not acted yet this combat.
Interesting.
So, like, if I'm first in initiative and Gratis is second, and I attack him, he's flat-footed to me. But round 2, he's not. Grotus, sorry.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So I guess if it's, and there's got to be a thing we can do to have it minus the AC of the target. I mean, if all else fails, I can figure it out.
It's AC AC colon -2.
Oh, that's all you'd have to do for the effect.
Yeah.
Oh. So we do AC colon.
Sorry, I wasn't clear enough when I said that. That's when I was saying that. Like, yeah, that's the effect, but also that's the effect.
Okay.
Is you put the description of the effect as like AC. I always mix the two up. Is it colon or semicolon? The 2 dot one.
2 dots colon. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, colon and then -2 is.
Okay, so I think that should be in there right on your fist. Then I put that effect on there, so we'll hope it works. And if it doesn't, I can manually figure it out. So at least it's there and noted, so we know. All right, let me get back to this NPC list here for you guys. Let's see. Who am I missing?
Wait, question. Rather than, because I'm not interested in music, rather than an instrument, can I have a red nose as a spell focus?
That you certainly can.
Does it honk when you squeeze it?
Yeah, I'm Honker, dude. That's my fucking name. My name is I'm Honker. I gotta have a honker, so I was hoping that could be my spell focus.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that would be weird if you didn't have a red nose. Okay, I think I'm done, so I'm gonna go run to the bathroom really quick.
Okay. Let me just get this here.
Can't wait. I've got everything to where these is gonna be clownerific. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm fucking clowning around. Okay, musical instrument, handheld, clown medals.
Okay.
I really love with the Pathfinder stuff how at the end it's just like, do you want your class kit? And you're like, yes, sir. And it's like, boom, here's your inventory. And like, it gives you the shit you need. And it makes me feel happy.
Mine just gave me a fucking staff.
I mean, yeah, I have shit I'm never going to use, like a rapier. Fuck that. I ain't getting close enough to touch nobody.
I got rope. 50 feet of rope. Gotta have rope.
Yeah, always carry at least 10 feet of rope for yourself.
For sure. Climbing kit, grappling hook, smoke stick, chalk, flint steel, soap.
Yeah, everybody gets that. That's your like. That's what's kind of cool is you can look that up, and I think that's just Adventurer's Backpack or something.
I think
that, like,
so. Yeah.
gives you all of that shit. I love that Pathfinder has that laid out. Like,
But Moog, to be real, are we ever gonna really like? How bad are we gonna need soap?
Oh, you're gonna need soap.
We really need soap.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of depends on. I mean,
My guy's name is Grotus. Grotus Rankle.
Well, he might not need soap.
I'm gonna change.
Gotta find Grotus to him.
And of course, no torches. Fuck that.
Oh, jeez.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I mean, considering we have a living puppet, 2 goblins, and a drunken monk.
Yeah, and then I think Bazo was gonna be like some kind of sprite or something, unless that's changed. I don't recall.
I don't know if he ever landed on anything.
I don't think we're gonna need a lot of soap in this party. Mainly,
we're gonna need it. We're just not gonna use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to phrase it. I don't think a lot of soap is gonna get used in this party.
Oh, hell no.
Not in the Grotus show. That's true. All right, the name of the act. There we go. We got it. Honker and Grotus.
I almost took ventriloquism so that I could have a puppet, but like I think I still can. I was going to talk to you about this.
You get
figure out what puppet prices are, but like I did take like ghost sound and prestidigitation because I was thinking like we could lean into this. This could be a 3-man show.
Oh, so you make them think that there's one evil psycho puppet that's attacking them, but really it's the other one that was sitting there the whole time.
Or we work together and it looks like somebody's controlling a psycho puppet that's controlling a psycho puppet and they don't even know I'm alive. And then bam!
Yeah.
All of a sudden, she'll touch because, you know, the bad touch.
Oh shit, he's off the strings! Ah!
And the fun part, like, I was looking through, like, class feats. My guy's such a coward. It's great. You can take, at level 1, you can take, most spellcasters can take this really cool feat called Reach, which extends every spell. Gives you reach on everything. Because that's always a problem for wizards and shit. You get, like, you know, grasping touch and like those kind of spells, but like who the hell as a wizard wants to get close enough to poke an enemy? So you take that reach spell and even touch spells have a 30-foot range then. You gotta burn a feat on it, but it's kind of neat for casters. I think I'm done as far as I gotta just sort out a couple item things, but that's it.
Okay. I'm just getting the last couple touches on this NPC list here that's truncated for y'all. Let's see.
Did they perhaps maybe even provide that NPC list in the player resource section or anything for it?
No, they don't. They actually don't even. They don't even provide it for me. I had to like manually put this together because there's like not a lot of information about them in, at least maybe there is in like some of the other later module books. I have no idea. But at least in this first one, like it just kind of mentioned a lot of them just by name and some very, very succinct descriptions. But I went out online and like looked around because there's a lot of people that like were like, okay, we need to flesh out these circus people a bit more. We found some more, you know, good info about all of them. But let's see.
Moog, I'm double loafing up here again.
Oh, both the cats.
Mm-hmm.
Can I have nunchucks?
Nunchuck? Yeah,
More,
sure.
More specifically, can I be proficient in nunchucks?
Fine. Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna give myself nunchucks.
No, your answer is supposed to be only if you're proficient in nunchucks in real life. Because he is.
Okay, that's pretty fucking cool.
How much? I wonder how much stuff he's broken doing this. Probably not a lot. But...
I started when I was young, and I did all the breaking back then.
Oh,
nowadays I'm pretty clean. My styles, my technique is pretty strong.
Very nice. Very nice.
I love Pathfinder items, bro. Like this, 5 silver pieces. Toy carriage. Fuck yeah, I need a toy carriage because my ass fits on the toy carriage.
Oh my god.
So then Chaku have backswing. So if you miss with your first attack, you get a +1 on your second attack.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely. Guys, if you haven't played Pathfinder, never make assumptions on anything. If you're looking at it and you're like, it does this, just because it did that in 5e, Paizo's got to be special and differentiate. So a lot of their stuff is different. Even like, for example, fear. Fear does not work the way fear does in 5e. It works differently and provides like negative bonuses to an enemy.
Oh, right.
To run.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Things like that. So never pick a spell or a feat based on what you think it might be because of 5e experience. You can retrain those things according to mechanics and stuff, but I've run into players who like after a couple sessions are like, bro, this is not working how I thought it would, and it's usually because like they're it's a new system.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so let me get you this list of circus NPCs and kind of give you some little details about some of them here. All right, I'll let Quick get back since he's not in his chair right now.
Moog,
Yeah.
I figure you will appreciate the reference of what Maz has named her favorite rock.
Oh.
They have named the rock Ronka. All hail the great Ronka.
That's fantastic.
I also have multiple notes written about the rock. I've spent a lot of time thinking about the rock.
That is awesome. All right, so let me give you a rundown of these NPCs so you can kind of get thinking a little bit about the relationship with some of these, and then we'll do a little bit of just kind of introductions as what everybody's up to, and then probably get to a little bit of the start of this. So, like I was saying, the circus that you're in, the vast majority, at least all the NPCs, like you all were part of another circus before that you guys left because it sucked, and the gal who ran it was a horrible, horrible lady, and you're trying to do your own thing now. So you basically stole a bunch of their acts and left and to do your own thing. And so some of the notable NPCs that you have with you, there is Bardolph, who is an old performing bear from the menagerie. He doesn't perform anymore. He actually, partly because of his age and partly due to injuries from mistreatment in the Celestial Menagerie. But he still wears a top hat and his little neck ruffle, and he's kind of the emotional support bearer of the circus of Wayward Wonders. He just kind of hangs out with y'all, and he's a big cuddly grizzly bear. Eliza Pumpernickel, who is a snake handler, especially with her python, Mr. Tickles. She is she's probably like one of the kindest people in the circus. She's always very happy to like share a smile or laugh with the members of the circus. Very sensitive person. Mordain, who is she kind of bills herself as Mordain the magician, but what her act kind of is the escape artist. She's very skilled at like sleight of hand, but plays it up as magic. She is kind of the diva of your group. Like deep down, like that she's a good person, but she's very much kind of the drama diva. I want to be the spotlight type person. Hod is kind of Mordain's attendant. He's a real buff, jacked guy, kind of a hunk to go along with Mordain's like kind of stunning beauty. He understands her very well. He doesn't speak very much, but he kind of understands like her mannerisms because she can get kind of be a lot to handle sometimes with her diviness. Myron, who is the ringleader of the circus, he was the main one that kind of got you all together. When he and the rest of you left the Celestial Menagerie, he was the one who kind of like reached out to the various people in the circus, being like, "Hey, we all left. Let's go make a better circus that treats us right." Very, he kind of has the nickname of Thunder because of his voice. Very well known for his booming kind of ringleader voice. Very kind and frank man, but also kind of playful as well. The Dwarven Throwers, which are 4 dwarven brothers. They each have a different colored beard. They don't speak at all. They pretty much only speak through pantomime, and they are very mischievous and like to play pranks on people in the circus, and their whole act is like getting shot out of cannons and stuff like that. The Featherfall 5, which is a family of acrobats, a father, mother, and their 3 children. If you have ever played the Psychonauts game, think of Raz and his family from Psychonauts. If you haven't played Psychonauts, go play Psychonauts. It's really great.
Okay, yeah, bunch of weirdos. Got it.
Bunch of weirdos. The Flamboni Sisters, who are a pair of fire jugglers, and they have pretty remarkably different attitudes. One of them is a very cynical pessimist, and the other one is very sweet and a bit of a ditz. But the main thing is that the professor, who used to be a fire eater, but has now gotten very old and has had kind of too much damage to his throat from years of fire eating, but now he runs the sideshow for the circus, which is the sideshow of everyday marvels. One of the things that Myron wanted to do with this circus is like one of the big issues at the Celestial Menagerie was just the mistreatment and the dehumanizing, and especially with like kind of like the freak show kind of aspects, very much like let's put all these ugly people in boxes and laugh at them. And so they wanted the sideshow for the Circus of Wayward Wonders to be more of like not so much let's laugh at people with deformities, and more of let's celebrate like normal people with like kind of fantastical lives and stories to tell. Some, not all of which are true, but they tell them like they are. But he's kind of just become a storyteller in his old age and kind of runs that sideshow. Also, these last 4 characters are in that sideshow. There is Gideron Elbis, who is the bearded man. He's just a huge, broad-shouldered guy with really long hair and a massive beard and a thick mustache, and he is excellent at portraying accents and mannerisms from all across the world. The professor likes to claim that he is an exact body double of a significant political figure who must conceal his identity. And he tells all sorts of exciting stories about his adventures. Tahala Roadwatcher, the tattooed woman, who is a middle-aged Shoanti shaman who left her clan. Her body is like covered in all of these intricate and complex tattoos, and she likes to kind of tell stories about like the earth and revering her ancestors and like aspects of spiritualism from her clan. So she kind of sees it as an opportunity to enlighten people about her culture as well as like entertain people with it. Hesper and Metis Jaxus, the unjoined twins, who are a pair of identical twin sisters who say that they have lived mirror lives. They, claim that, like, for example, one of them married a miller named Smith while the other married a smith named Miller. They each got cursed by a different witch on their wedding day, one because they didn't invite the witch, and the other one because they sent too many invitations. Stuff like that. They claim that they all they've lived mirror lives, and the list of coincidences between them gets longer and longer every time they tell their stories. And then lastly, Cubby, who is the dog-faced dog, who is literally a beagle man who was, well, he used to be just a beagle, but he was the subject of an awaken animal ritual spell a long time ago that gave him human intelligence and the ability to speak. And so he's just a dog guy, and he's really good friends with the professor. And he just, traveled all over the world recounting amazing adventures. Kind of a very loving companion. And let me give you the list. Let me drop the list here of these in the chat. So take a look over that list there and think about, pick two out of the list that you have formed, some sort of relationship with in, the couple of months that you guys have been practicing and trying to get this show together. And we'll kind of talk about it in a moment here. Whatever that be, friend, mentor, rival, whatever you want that to be. You guys all know each other and have, had to deal with each other all this time. So give that list a look, and we'll give you a moment to think about that.
I'm ready. Dwarven Throwers and Gitteron Albus.
All right, 1 second here. Let me get a thing up here so I can write these down. Conquer.
To a lesser extent, the twins, maybe, but not so much.
Okay. And what kind of relationship would you say you have with these two, the Throwers and Get Around?
So, right, to understand the relationships, I had to think about this a lot. But so what's the timeline on this? This is a brand new circus, and we all just left the other one kind of fairly recently.
Yeah. So, well, here let's ask this question first. So, all of these NPCs, they've all come from the Celestial Menagerie, and if you guys all came from there too, cool. If you guys kind of joined up after the fact, after everyone else left the Celestial Menagerie, cool. I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. But if you were in the Celestial Menagerie with them before, you're well aware of how shitty that was. If I remember correctly from what I was reading, the Celestial Menagerie got run in Absalom, which is kind of one of the main kind of cities in kind of the Pathfinder setting here. And where you guys are now, you guys aren't too far. Do they even have a map of this?
So
I don't think they gave me
that helps. So for me, right, I'm only 3 years old. I'm not a child. I'm 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came to, I hate this. When I came to, I had the intelligence of a 1,000-year-old dragon, but I'm a 9-year-old body. No, but like, you know, I have the childlike wonder where like I'm intelligent, I can speak, so I'm kind of like at a not quite adult level there because obviously very brand new. So like the Dwarven brothers, like the mischievous and the prank stuff is like the child part of me, but then you know, the accents and mannerisms and stuff that, you know, that also leads into that because I imagine it, you know, there's you know, funny accents and things like that, and so it's really the, like, I'm learning the world, right? So you interact with people when you want to make a friend. You make a friend by doing a prank on them, right? And when you talk to people, you talk to people in different accents because that's what you do. That's what I'm learning from those people. So my interactions with everybody is that of I'm interpreting what they do that's a proper way to interact with the world.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, that makes sense. I like that.
Okay.
Okay, I have mine picked.
Okay.
So Braz is definitely good friends with. Is it Eliza or Eliza Pumpernickel?
Elysia.
Okay, yeah, she's definitely good friends with her because, like, being a snake handler stuff, she just seems exotic and cool, and Braz kind of tries to act like a hard ass sometimes, but they get along well. But she does not like the Jaxis twins. She finds the whole mirror life thing annoying, and also like, come on, dude, like the twin thing, that's my thing with my sister, so she just finds them very annoying.
Alright, I like it, yeah. A little bit of rivalry with the twin sister thing. I like that.
Funny that there was a rivalry with the twin sisters and not the fire juggler sisters.
I considered it, but they juggle. I eat, so it's different. We can work together.
Big difference, yeah. Alright.
Moog, did you get my DM?
Let me go and see. Oh, I guess it does have a map in there. It should be in here then. Starstone. Starstone. There it is. I knew it was in here somewhere.
You're welcome.
Okay. So, where we're at now. So, like, in the wider kind of Pathfinder world, and I can't remember what that world is called off the top of my head. Is it Galarian? Galarian. Okay, that's what I thought. So, like, pretty much like smack dab in the middle of Galarian is like there's like a decently sized like ocean surrounded by all these continents, and then in the middle of this ocean there's this island, and well, set of islands. Absalom, which is down on the very southern part of the Big Island, is kind of a very big central city in kind of Pathfinder.
End of the world.
Yeah, it's kind of like Waterdeep of Pathfinder in a way.
I can drop some lore about Absalom.
Drop some lore about it. Feel free.
Absalom has never been taken. It cannot be taken because in the center of Absalom sits the Star Stone, and those who can jump the chasm in the middle of Absalom and make it across and touch the Star Stone may ascend to godhood. There are many tales about those who have done so, such as, I can't remember the exact name, like Bob the Failure was a goblin that like made the oath and like prepared to do it and failed, and as such is like still worshipped as a god because like he failed in doing it. But there have been several instances of people ascending to godhood by touching the Starstone, and they say that is what provides Absalom with the strength and the power it kind of does to keep it from being besieged. It's like a truly diverse city with its problems, but it is also known to host like the World Fair every, I think it's 100 years or something.
I think that was, yeah, if I remember right.
That it has, which is also kind of a sub thing in a whole other business, but kind of a neat thing. But yeah, End of the World is the name. It's more than just Waterdeep. It's like Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate and all those cities smashed into one, and indefensible. Anyway, I'll stop interrupting.
Yeah, but yeah. It's like that's where Celestial Menagerie was, and so you guys have left, and you guys are currently on the Isle of Arran, the little one just up to the north, and you guys are kind of you're in Aberton, which is this kind of small village, like maybe 1,000 people, like tops, kind of right up there on the northeast coast of this island, trying to kind of start your own thing for yourself, away from Mistress Dusklight and the Celestial Menagerie. So yeah, just kind of a little bit of setting there of where we're at with that. So Maz and Grotus, who or what people are you connecting with here?
You said 2?
Yep, 2. Yep.
So Maz would probably have like befriended Bardolph, because I mean, look at him. Look at him in his wool hat and his ruffle. Maz just like really loves animals, and like I feel like when they and Braz first got to the circus, like they were probably pretty standoffish, and so like Bardolph was the like first thing that Maz really like connected with, and so he's like one of her BFFs. He's a great listener.
He is.
And then the second one would probably be Tahala, because Maz just thinks that they are the raddest person in existence, and their tattoos are so cool and they tell great stories.
Alright. How about you, Grotus?
Grotus might know of the Featherfall Five, who might be like a weird cousin or an uncle to them, being like part of a long line of carny folk who do weird things, kind of risking their lives. I'm kind of thinking of like how like kayfabe and like the whole culture of like professional wrestling existed as traveling circus shows. And developed this whole subculture where you never break character and these are the rules and the lingo. So like I'm kind of spinning something like that, but for like monk acrobat types. And so the Featherfall Five probably would be like in that same kind of family subculture of like keeping the daredevil lineage alive. But Grotus would probably be recognized as more of like a degenerate version of that for them, because like he was fine without the ropes. He just wanted everybody to quit bitching. Like I'd do this thing with my ass on fire. I don't care shit. And probably has like a prank war love-hate relationship with the Dwarven Throwers. Because he likes to provoke people to throw things at him and throw punches just so he can like fluidly move around projectiles and laugh at them. In the inside, he just likes like being Mr. Magoo and dodging axes. So he probably would provoke them, or like, yeah, either get along with them or hate them, or both at the same time. And then Tahala Road Watcher, covered in complex tattoos, tells stories about ancestors and spiritualism. He would probably think that like, goddamn girl, you've been born around my time. Be barking up that tree, I tell you what. You know what? One of these nights you're feeling frisky, let me know anyway. So anyway, Grotus is 44 and still level 1 because of his degeneracy.
Great. That's great.
Okay.
That's okay, little buddy. You get there eventually.
Is this whatever this is? This feels important for the first time.
Right.
Brodus definitely is the oldest person by far.
And has fewer fucks to give than everyone combined.
Maz and Braz are 9 whole years old.
Jeez. Yes, we got you guys at 9.
In Goblin,
Conqueror.
age a little bit differently.
In Goblin, age 4 is adulthood,
Okay.
and they only live until 50.
All right.
I listened to a perspective on goblins and how their language is the deepest language in the universe.
Why
Because
so?
it's all based on like all these subtle like body language and stuff. So like, you know, when you see a group of goblins talking around the fire and like one like reaches over and bonks another one on the head, but like the way he's standing and the way their hand does it, and the way that like the other goblin shaman, the way she comes over and like drops a stone in the soup, like means certain things in different circumstances and stuff. And how like they can't talk much, and so they've evolved this massive generational body language thing.
That's excellent. I love it. Oh, that's so good. All right. Yeah, I guess we are all pretty young. We don't know how old Bozos is going to be. But yeah, we got 3-year-old doll thing and 9-year-old goblins. Oh wow, this is going to be interesting. So I do know we're definitely over half at the moment. So we're probably going to take our little 10-minute siesta to do what you got to do. Buy out, get a drink, whatever. And I think what we're going to do when we get back, because we'll have, a little less than an hour left, is we'll do kind of a round of kind of introductions, people's character, that kind of stuff, so we can get to know each other there. And then we'll kind of kick things off with a little bit of some world building and get going. So yeah, we'll see you guys back at, like 9, 10. And yeah, do what you gotta do, and we'll see you back then.
But after a while, they just got tired of that life, and they found the circus and joined up. And of course, Braz is a fire eater because she loves fire and things that go boom and explosions and all that good stuff. And she's just like uber protective of Maz. Like, she would never let anything happen to her. Maz is the most important person in her life. Like, it's her only family left. And like, yeah, she likes other people in the circus, but like Maz is her person. So she's deadly loyal to her.
All right. Very nice. All right, who wants to go next?
Well, I can go next since it's an easy transition.
Makes sense.
You don't have to give your whole backstory.
Yeah, you gave that. Made you do the hard work. So Maz is a rogue, and she has several interests: cats, sharp objects, shiny rocks, mossy rocks, and animals, and bugs, and her favorite rock, which she has named Ronka, and she is pretty sure is actually a all-powerful deity in hiding, and she worships it, and it talks to her. If you ask her, she will tell you all about it. And I wouldn't say she's necessarily the softer sister so much as she is filled with a sense of childlike wonder and is not very smart.
Oh, honey.
But she is clever, and she is very sneaky, and 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 uh and she's very good at taking orders and doing things that people tell her, and she really likes stories, and she really likes talking. She'll talk a lot. That's why she likes the bear, because he's such a good listener. And she also really likes fire and bombs and anything that goes boom, and that's why she made sure to learn alchemy from her uncle and a little bit from Braz so that she can make bombs and make things go boom.
Okay. And what is Maz's kind of like thing in the circus? So it's like Braz is eating the fire. What are you doing?
Maz is a juggler, but in the new circus, she's also taken up an act of knife throwing.
Okay.
Because she is very good with her knives. She always has knives at all times, and she will use them on you.
So you'll cut a bitch.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm not the soft sister. Sister, I will cut a bitch.
Oh man. All right. Who next?
I'll go. So, Brodus Frankel, as you might have heard, is a human, tattooed daredevil who's been around the circus circuit for quite some time now, and he's just as surprised as y'all that he's still alive. He wears blue and red and white robes, and he's often doing death-defying stunts and acts of otherwise buffoonery, playing pranks on his fellow performers that are not really all that nice. He has multiple burn scars, third-degree burn scars on the back of his thighs and on his ass. And everyone knows this because you've seen his ass multiple times. But within the first few months of knowing him. It's just part of his nature. But you've seen his ass flying through the air or walking out of the tent in the morning, just taking a piss where he's not supposed to. And many third-degree burns on there because he loves to light his own farts. And the guy can fart a sentence or a paragraph if he feels. Other people fart as punctuation. He can fart an entire paragraph. He says it helps propel him through the air, but that's also just bullshit. He's trained in a style of fighting, and he's only ever fought while drunk. And besides nunchucks, his only other fighting style is the stumbling stance, where he more or less just acts like a buffoon, and hitting him, he just kind of leans into it and throws off his opponent, and then kind of like rolls over onto them with an even bigger overhand flailing move. He doesn't have to act drunk. It's actually a style of fighting where drinking alcohol helps loosen the muscles, but he's a degenerate, and he just goes too far with that. What was your thing? Oh yeah, for 5 silver pieces, you can throw 3 darts at him. That's the thing he does. He will go and piss off a mark or a mook, find some guy with a girlfriend, and just like hassle him and buffoon around him until the guy's ready to swing on him, and then he'll say like 5 silver pieces to throw darts at me, bro. And he'll do it. And if he gets hit with a dart, he's like Johnny Knoxville. He just doesn't seem to feel pain as much as normal people do. And so besides aerialism and being a general buffoon, his act with the circus would be performing with Honker in, like, again, more violent kind of clown acts where sharp objects are thrown at Grotus only for him to mostly dodge them. Or, if he gets hit in the nuts, that's even better. People laugh harder. It's fine. He's been shot out of a cannon. He's jumped off of things that are way too high. He was the one who did not care about the safety nets at the Celestial Menagerie.
All right.
So yeah, that's Grotus. That's part of his whole thing. He's just kind of riding the lightning, just riding that edge. Surprised as you are that he's still alive. And he relates to the Dwarven Throwers and, Tahala Roadwatcher more because everyone else seems to be a bunch of fucking children.
All
These
right.
are adults. Thank you.
I'm a person. I insist on it.
You're larval people.
Yeah.
All right, give us your lowdown, Hunker.
I was a birthday present for a child of a merchant who was kind of left alone, but also like spoiled rotten. Not a great child. There was an accident and they were unalived, and I in the process gained a shard of a soul. Whose it was, I don't know. I have a mentality kind of similar to that of a kind of a spoiled child, but also like I'm new and fresh. The merchant kept me around for a little while, and after an event left me to my own devices, as poppets are, occasionally, and I ended up meeting up with Grotus, right? Not Grotus, Grotus. And had a drink or two and a little bit of puffs on his smoke leaf pipe, and ended up running away to join the circus, and found that my calling in life was a clown. Grotus told me my name was, well, the answer was your Honker, and I take everything at face value. I'm Honker.
I take it.
I take.
So your name is, you're Honker.
I'm Honker.
Yeah, it's you. That's you. You're Honker.
I'm Honker. Me. I'm Honker. You know, I'll take everything at face value, and I'm kind of learning the world a day at a time, and I love it. And I want to be your friend. I want to be everybody's friend and learn everything that I need to know to be the best so that people will recognize me as the same as they do for Grotus or Mott's, because I'm a person too. I'm not a doll or a toy. And that's kind of a little desire in my heart, and I can achieve that by achieving the perfect behavior. But I don't feel like I have emotions. I'm a doll that got animated, and I don't have enough of a soul to have emotions or like an internal dialogue. So I observe behavior. That behavior is how it is. And if I observe different behavior in a similar situation from somebody else, I know they're doing it right because I already learned it from X person. And a lot of what I've learned happened to be from Grotus and Carnies and stuff. So that's where we're at. I love telling dad jokes, bad jokes. And they're bad enough that they hurt, literally will hurt you. But I want to help too. So like a lot of my, my abilities are kind of interesting because my muses, these bad jokes, kind of stuff. But because I want you to be my friend, I inspire courage and soothe my enemies. But like I'll tell bad jokes, which will put debuffs on the enemies or help people out. And I like doing clown stuff. I've got lots of balls. I've got, lots of juggling stuff and marbles and probably a puppet or two and clown shoes. Because if I tell jokes, people will like me. Because if they laugh, that means they like me. Just if they laugh. Doesn't matter what they're laughing at or who they are. That doesn't apply. Nobody explained that concept to me. So they just need to laugh. That's me.
All right.
And I like talking because everybody's my friend.
All right.
But Maz has 2 questions. 1, can they honk your nose? 2, would you like to hear about the Great Ronka?
Anybody can honk my nose, and I would never try to hijack a character trait or anything. But I imagine that if we have spent any time at all and you have done this and explained the rock to me, I understand this rock is the god to worship. There is a deity. It's like I have bought it 100%. I'm not. If you're not cool with that, that's fine. But like that would be a trait. Like, yes, I do want to hear about it. Let's talk.
Oh no, Maz would 100% try and get more people to believe in Ronka.
No convincing needed, I believe, from the moment you told me it was a thing. Wholeheartedly, from my head down to my knees, but not any below her because my knees are made of wood. Oh yeah, I'm made of wood and deathly afraid of fire. So like when there is fire, like I will like I'll still be around it, but like I very much know that I am made of wood. Fire will annihilate me, and so I don't do any fire stuff in my axe or anything, or any project.
Grotus is pretty protective of that. He understands Honker's mortal fear and only, lights his own farts around him as exposure therapy and because it's hilarious. But other than that, all like the fire jugglers and the fire breathers and the fire swallowers, he tells them to like cool as shit around the wood kid, all right?
And Braz would totally respect that. She likes Honker. She loves his jokes.
I'm Honker.
Whatever.
Is my
we all love he's Honker.
I love it.
He's a creepy little fuck, but he's funny.
Yeah, that's what's great about it. It feels creepy and exploitative just being his friend.
It's like one of those little paintings with a haunted child, except he can actually move around. The eyes have seen too much. Oh man.
Because I mean, for my age, like I have.
Fair.
I don't know how to comprehend it. That's why I justify everything the way I do.
I love it. All right. So, one quick question for you all. So, right now, this is the town of Aberdeen, where you guys are currently set up. You can see your lovely little tent up in the corner there. And this is like the afternoon before your debut, as it were. This is your first official performance as the Circus of Wayward Wonders. You guys have been practicing, getting things put together, under Myron's care, and this being like the last afternoon, like you're wanting to do like one last push in the village here to try to get any last people to come hype up the show. And Myron has asked for someone to come along with him into the village to kind of do he'll do the speaking and the the calling out like he always does. You can be there and do some little tricks or whatever to try to get people interested, like we want to see more of this. So out of you four, which of you would likely be the one to probably go with Myron to do this like one last little advertising push in the central part of Aberdeen?
I'll jump off the highest building in town.
All right. Well, that works out great because the central part of Aberdeen is right where the church is at, and that would probably be the highest place, right where you need to be. All right, so we got Grotus going along with this. So let's set the scene here a little bit. Over the quaint town of Aberdeen, on the Isle of Arran, the sun shone its late summer afternoon warmth on the clustered buildings and fields of waving grains and grazing livestock. Yet, it was comfortable for walking, as the air playfully tumbled on a cool ocean breeze, laced with the slightest scent of salt that blew in from the nearby coastline. But there was more than salt on the air today. Today, there was a tingle of anticipation, that magical spark of a dream about to be realized, months of hard work finally paying off. The thought of it brought a smile, perhaps even a tear, in the eye of Myron Thunder Stendhal, ringmaster of the Circus of Wayward Wonders. His footsteps on the dirt road leading into Aberdeen paused as he plucked the stovepipe hat from his head and tucked it under his arm. Hard to believe it's happening, isn't it? He says, turning to Grotus, only barely containing his exultant glee. After all the blood and tears at the celestial menagerie, we're finally making our own way. No more Mistress Dusklight breathing down our necks, breaking our backs. Literally. Just showmanship for the joy of the art. And he pauses kind of dramatically as his arms are outstretched to the sky. Well, my friend, and he deftly pops his stovepipe hat back over his wavy hair. Shall we make this one last push to fill our seats with these fine folks?
Let's put asses in benches, buddy.
Wonderful, wonderful. You do what you do best. What will you be gracing us with, these fine people, tonight?
Well, I'm going to hype up a big-ass jump, and I'm going to land by grabbing onto a rope, swinging into one of our prepared landing spaces. More or less something that we've done as aerialists before, but we're going to act like it's never been done before because it hasn't in this piece of shit town.
Sights that they have never seen. Wonderful. All right, well, let us make our way. And you guys continue down kind of the path from the northeast part of Aberdeen there, across the bridge over the little stream. and kind of make your way into this little central kind of market-ish area where some of the various roads and paths in Aberton converge in between the two streams that kind of split through the town. Before you here stands the main kind of church of Aberton. What is it here? The Golden Laws Church. Fairly well-worn and long-standing building. Like, this village has been here for quite a while. This whole kind of area around Erin and, the kind of central islands in Galarian, they've been inhabited for thousands and thousands of years, and some of these buildings here in the town definitely show their age. As you walk into this central square, Grotus, getting kind of set up for this jump. The chapel is unlocked, as most chapels are, and you're able to kind of find your way inside and find the stairs that lead up to the bell tower to kind of get yourself positioned up there. Myron kind of steps up to, there's like a little bit of a kind of a raised small kind of wall around the church here, just kind of setting it apart from the other parts of the market square here, and he kind of sets himself up on that, steps up onto the wall, and he kind of straightens he has like this fine red velvet coat that he wears. Actually, I have a picture of Myron here. Let me get you a picture of Myron. Let's see here. There we go. Here's Myron. A ringleader looking ringleader. He stands up on this wall and kind of throws his hands out to the side and says, "Aberton! The night is here at last. The sights, the sounds, the thrills, the circus of wayward wonders. Our opening night in just a few short hours. Please, won't you join us? Very affordable, family-friendly entertainment for you all. Stories to tell. High-flying stunts such as these." And he kind of throws his hand up behind him here towards the chapel. Grotus, do your thing.
Starts singing his own anthem and song, which, like, by now the rest of the crew would be familiar with, and Honker might be, like, humming along the bottom. And he's, like, doing, like, final countdown, showing off his nunchuck skills on top of the chapel steeple. Like, hamming it up. Oh, delicious. And then he, right there at the peak of his own, song, dives forward and tries to grab out at one of the trapeze ropes set up on building across from it, so he can turn his momentum into angular momentum and then land in a tumble.
All right. So you come swooping down from this church steeple, and the various people in town. There's you hear this mixture of like gasps of amazement, and you can also tell there's maybe a few people in the crowd that are like, "Oh my God, he's doing this off the church!" Like, this
is like 70% prepared, so I would like to roll a reflex.
Okay, go ahead.
Grotus wouldn't do anything without some semblance of risk.
All right. Yeah, with that, I would say that you very, like, everything goes perfectly according to plan. You swing down this rope. You kind of have this nice high arc over the crowd. You can kind of get a bit of a breeze. You can see like the hair of some of these people get a little bit of a, as your feet, kind of whiz over their heads here, and you're able to land, deftly in the marked spot that you guys had prepared. And the crowd erupts. There's quite a few people that are around here. It's late afternoon here in Aberton, and the market's still fairly busy. People out just kind of doing their daily stuff in this kind of small farming village. But the kids especially, you can hear them being like, "Whoa, wow, like look at that!" he jumped off the building. That's so cool. I want to do that. You know, you get some of the parents be like, don't do. We'll let you see him. We'll let you see him. Don't do that though. That's dangerous. See, you're getting kind of a mixture of reactions here, but you know, you're getting some good feedback, and you get, you know, people coming up to Myron here, and he's got, you know, like this coat that he's got has, you know, plenty of pockets, and he's got a, you know, variety of tickets and things that he's handing out to people, and kind of taking a little bit of coin, you know, getting people ready to go. And you know, after you guys are there for, you know, a little while, you know, Myron feels like you guys have done enough. I mean, you guys have been kind of promoting this circus here for like the past week. You know, since you guys came and you set up your tent, like you guys had been, you know, out, you know, practicing elsewhere, but you guys finally decided to, you know, set up here. You know, you made some agreements with the local town leadership, and you know, got things all properly in order. But you guys have already sold quite a few tickets already. But you know, you just want to get that nice little extra cap on the end there. I mean, this is how you live. This is how you get paid, after all. And so after you guys have collected a few tickets here, and you know, gotten the last kind of vestiges of what you think you can get out of the people here, you begin the trek back over to the big top, northeast of town. Where is here it is. There it is. Okay. Couldn't find my link where the next part was. Alright, so you guys get back over to the big top. So the way this is set up over here is you guys have this pretty enormous, it's not super enormous, but it's pretty decently sized. It's got enough space in the middle for kind of your typical old-timey circus setup. You know, it's got like kind of a main ring and then a couple smaller rings inside of it for some of the various acts to be done, and bleachers around the sides. Let me get you a picture of the big top here. Let me know if you can see that. I don't know if these have weird lighting on them. Like I remember some stuff in...
They all do.
They all do. Okay, let me turn off the lighting. How about that?
No.
Nope.
You need to tick off the one that looks like a light bulb and the one that looks like an eyeball.
Oh.
And then, yep, there you go.
It goes.
There we go. All right. The big top. So, the Circus of Wayward Wonders performs in this enormous tent, capable of holding a few hundred people, which is a pretty good thing. With the efforts that you guys have done for the past week and this last little push with Grotus out there, it seems that you guys have gotten a pretty good chunk of the population of Aberton out here. You know, maybe even nearly all of them. The bleachers are packed. Many of the most prominent citizens of the town are here, including the mayor, who you guys had kind of made some agreements with to even be here in the first place. But, you know, people are jostling for seats. You can see that there are some people who are even, you know, just kind of have given up trying to find a proper seat and are trying to pack themselves into some of the kind of aisleways between the bleachers, standing room only style. And they all are peering at these three rings that fill the center of the tent, waiting excitedly for the show to begin. So the performers, you all and the rest of your cohorts, the southern part of the big top tent, there's kind of these large blue and yellow curtains that are kind of draped across the whole southern half, kind of sectioning it off into kind of a backstage type area. And back here you guys have all your kind of preparatory things set up. There's a few little, you know, some people got some places where, you know, makeup's getting put on. You got, you know, carts with your various ropes and supplies and things for your tricks that you plan to do. There's a few small little rooms that are kind of made out of some of the tent material fabric, just kind of little private rooms for some of the people to get ready here. You see, Myron's walking among all of you here, and kind of hyping everyone up, saying, this is it, everyone. We're gonna get out there. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make a name for ourselves. And he's kind of trying to finish up the last little touches on his his little mustache and beard, just trying to make them look absolutely perfect for the night. You see him kind of duck into his little private room back here to kind of get whatever last little cosmetic things he needs to do. And as you all are kind of readying up, the lights out, you hear the sound of like the lights kind of going down as a couple of the other performers kind of go around dimming some of them that are out there, and you begin to take your places backstage, awaiting your cues. And as you all are kind of lining up, getting ready for the show, suddenly you notice that several of the performers that were kind of closest to the curtain, separating the three rings from the rest of the tent, namely the Dwarven Throwers and Eliza with Mr. Tickles. They were kind of set up to be some of the kind of starting acts of the show, and you see them kind of leaving the queue and gathering over and nearby, kind of heading over towards Myron's tent in kind of a small crowd, and you're hearing these kind of exchanged whispers and hushed gasps over to the west of you all. And this whispering begins to kind of spread throughout the back stage here.
What's going on? Why isn't the show starting? They shouldn't be leaving their spots. Myron would be so mad.
What the fuck's everybody talking about?
They left their spots. Myron said you shouldn't leave your spot before the show, but they left their spots and they're talking, and you're not supposed to do that. Myron said you're not supposed to do that. That's why we're standing here. We didn't leave our spots, but they left their spots and they're talking. And everybody's talking, and it doesn't seem like the show's going, but the show's supposed to be going because Myron said.
Yeah, well, Honker said.
I'm Honker.
He's right.
Yeah, you are, buddy.
Hey, what's going on, man? Let's start the show.
As you're kind of calling this out over to the group that had kind of wandered over there, you see Eliza with Mr. Tickles is kind of like draped around her shoulders currently. You see that she kind of turns away, and you see her kind of beeline immediately south out of the tent. And Grotus, you can hear you hear tears. You hear that she's crying. And, there seems to be more gasps coming from this group to the west of you all. Something seems to be amiss.
Grotus is going to hustle that direction, because he loves trouble.
All right. Grotus, you head over this way and, kind of join this crowd of your fellow circus folks. And, in front of you here is one of the kind of little booths that was set up, kind of a little private ready booth here, and the curtain on the side has been kind of pulled back, and you find trouble, but not the trouble that you were hoping for. On the ground, contorted as if caught in the throes of terrible pain, is the corpse of the ringmaster Myron Thunder Stendhal. Everyone in the circus knew Myron for his amazing voice that would bring instant silence to the largest crowd. And he knew everything there is to know about putting on a successful performance. And now he is dead. And the crowd is out there, and they are expecting a show.
Show must go on.
The show must go on. As you guys are, and as you're kind of seeing this kind of grisly view here. Professor Zarlian Kaiosophes from the sideshow. You see him kind of making his way from outside the tent where the sideshow is. He seems he probably heard Eliza as she went past and came in to see what was going on. He's kind of a thin and frail looking veteran of the circus with this long silver hair and bushy eyebrows. He comes up and sees you all. Well, what are you all standing around for? And as he kind of moves up, he sees Myron on the ground and says, well, this is certainly a turn of events on our opening night, isn't it? Well, as much as we would like to get to the bottom of this, have you seen that crowd? We haven't ever had a tent packed this full. There's a show to put on. We have to find a way to do it. We can't just leave them out there.
We can't solve murder if we can't eat.
Exactly. Please, everyone, finish your makeup. Get into your costumes. Send in the clowns. We'll distract them for a little bit. And, at this, he kind of looks over at you, Honker, and probably the... well, actually, probably Grotus and Honker both, since you guys kind of do stuff together, to kind of head out and distract the crowd a bit with some antics while people try to kind of collect themselves in the back here.
I'm Honker. I'm the clown. They're sending us in.
Time for funny business, boy.
So, is that my method of prepping? Isn't a theme song? It's just to honk every time I take a step. So it's just honk, 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 honk as I come in. I'll start, I've got juggling balls and juggling clubs.
Okay. So you head out there, Honker, trying to do the best that you can. I mean, at least out of all of the people here at the circus, having been hit with a sudden, emotional incident such as this, you were probably the least affected emotional wise, being a puppet. So you head out there, honking your nose. The crowd seems to enjoy what you're doing out here. Do you want to roll me a? I gotta remember what the checks are in this game. Instead of 5e.
I know what you want. You want performance checks.
Yep, it's gonna be performance. Okay, good. It's still a performance in this one.
In order to qualify for some extra bonuses, I have a question for everyone.
Shoot.
What is a beholder's favorite food? Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Oh my god.
So that will kick in. I get my comedy performer deal here. So you want performance check?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get a +1.
Okay.
Oh, big tip about Pathfinder. Those +1s, man. Level 1 it doesn't seem like much, but all of those little tiny +1s, +2s, they'll add up on you and others.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Nice.
Very nice. All right. Honker, you're out there setting up the pins. You're doing great. The jokes, they're landing. The people seem like both kind of bemused and even a little like that. You can kind of tell there's a little bit of intrigue and maybe also a little fear as well. They're not sure what to make of you, but these jokes they're hitting, they're landing, and they seem to be doing a good job kind of keeping the crowd going and not just waiting at front of an empty stage here. So Grotus, Braz, Maz, while Honker's out here doing his jokes and stuff, the professor is trying to kind of get things rolling in the back end just to make sure the show goes on. And he kind of looks at the three of you, and he's like, "We need to get the main acts back and ready for the stage. We need to, get Eliza, get Mordain, get the rest of them, get them all back and running. Do you want to go out and find them in their tents and see if we can get them back to the show as quickly as possible? I know this is definitely not something we were expecting. I don't know what could have caused this, but like you said, we can't solve anything if we can't eat. So we need to make sure this gets through. Best go check on the others. I'll make sure the sideshow keeps running outside with the rest of them. Let's all do what we came here to do."
All right.
So you three kind of head out of the tent here, and like immediately south of the big top is where you kind of have like the camp for everybody here set up. You got a variety of wagons and small tents and things that are all kind of scattered across this little hillside here, and everyone has kind of their own little tent or wagon that they kind of stay in, and you're well aware of whose is whose. As you kind of come outside the tent, you see a young man kind of making his way around the southern side of the big top here, and he's kind of wearing this kind of awkwardly large cloak, and he sees you three and kind of heads towards you here. And you've seen him around before. His name is Axel. He's been kind of hanging around the circus for a few days, and in the few times that you had kind of run across him before, he was always pestering Myron to like, give me a chance. Come on, let me be a part of your show here. I know I have never done anything, but I really want to try and try out this circus life. But he couldn't, like, Myron could never get a straight commitment out of him to join, especially since Axel never performed in front of an audience before, and had been seemed to have a bit of stage fright to him, stage fright in some other instances that you'd interacted with him before. But he sees you, Grotus and Braz and Moss. He's like, Is the show starting? Do you guys need any help? I can help. I can be part of the show if you want. I mean, is Myron around?
Myron's busy.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. I mean, the show's about to start and all, but I just wanted to try to get one last chance, and if I could, please, before it starts, please, I know I haven't done this before, and I am ready. I am ready.
Good job. We need you. We've never had this many people before in the crowd, and the outhouses are fucking overflowing. You gotta shovel that shit right away, man. That would be clutch.
Oh, okay. And if I do that, can I be in the show later? Maybe.
Shit, I'm not the boss. I gotta go, man.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll help. I'll help best I can, and I hope maybe we'll work some more.
I hope so too, brother. You gotta go, man.
Okay. And
wash your hands before you talk to me again, though.
Okay. And he, the excitement of it all, and this kind of come up before in other instances with Myron in the past. He seems to lock up and get quite a bit of a stammer going when he is kind of in a stressful situation. But at the excitement of kind of being included in a way, in some small way. He feels like Axel kind of feels like he's finally gotten some kind of in, even if it wasn't the ideal in that he was hoping for. But he kind of heads off towards some of the kind of facilities that you guys have set up to try to help as best he can. So
He was a little excited to shovel shit.
Was I supposed to know who that was?
No, Maj, you're good.
So,
Okay, because, like, he acted like he knew us, and I don't think I've seen him before.
He's just some weird kid that's been hanging around.
Well, there's lots of those around here.
So in terms of the kind of main, like some of the main acts, like the three main ones that you guys are concerned about is there's Eliza with Mr. Tickles. There is Mordain, the magician, and the Featherfall Five, the family, as well. Like all three of them, had kind of headed out of the tent after the incident with Myron's body, and assumedly are around wherever their particular tents are at, which you well know where they are. So out of those three, which one would you guys probably head for first to try to get back in the act?
Go to Elysia, because they're friends.
Okay.
Maz can probably go talk to Mordain.
Okay.
And Grotus would get the Featherfall 5 in action.
Yeah, that fits just fine. All right, so Braz, you head to Elysia's tent, and as you are getting near to where she has her stuff set up, like you can hear her like sobbing profusely inside this tent. Like you know just from the time that you guys have spent together that her and Myron were very close. And a lot of the reason that Elysia even like kind of got into this business in the first place long ago was because of Myron. And so this seems to have hit her particularly hard out of left field. And you can definitely hear that as you're approaching her tent.
Okay. Well, I'll go into her tent.
So as you enter, she kind of lifts her head, look at you. She, oh, hello, Braz. I know we got this whole show. It's just a lot right now with what happened to Myron.
I know, but you got your shit together.
Well, I know I could pull it down if I could push it down if I have to, but something is wrong with Mr. Tickles. He's very lethargic, and I don't know why.
Okay, calm down. We'll figure it out. And Braz will go over to Mr. Tickles and kind of start stroking him and talking to him. What's wrong, Mr. Tickles?
If you want to, you can do like a medicine or a nature check while you're looking over Mr. Tickles. Okay. All right. So as you're kind of like getting Mr. Tickles the pets and kind of looking him over, you identify that he seems to be afflicted with a disease you're somewhat familiar with, as it's fairly common among your own people. He has somehow come down with goblin pox, which is not a lethal illness. It usually just kind of makes its sickness, those who are afflicted with it, somewhat lethargic for a time. But it can be treated, with a little bit of, there's some simple medicines that you can create and give to Mr. Tickles to kind of alleviate some of these symptoms for a bit. You're not sure where this came from out of the blue on him, but you're just from your background, you feel pretty confident that you could probably treat this at least enough to an extent that he would be able to perform.
Alicia, it's fine. I don't know how Mr. Tickles got this, but don't worry, this is treatable.
Okay. He's not gonna die?
Goblins other than me and Maz?
No, you're the only two that are around here that I know of. And you two haven't been sick, right?
No, of course not. And I'd never come around Mr. Tickles if I was. I would never risk his life. Has Mr. Tickles been alone at any point?
No, he's always with me.
Okay, well, it's okay. We're gonna get him treated, and he'll be at least good enough to perform.
Okay. Thank you, Braz. I appreciate it.
Of course, anything for you, and anything for Mr. Tickles. You know I love this little guy, and I assume that Mr. Tickles is probably much bigger than me.
Oh yeah, he's like a 16-foot long python.
He could eat me about 6 times over.
Oh yeah, he definitely could. He's a big guy.
but Braz just freaking loves him.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, I'll help her treat Mr. Tickles.
Okay. All right. And if you want to do, give me a medicine check as you kind of make this little kind of simple, kind of home remedy poultice. Okay. All right. So with that, you're not like particularly skilled in the arts of medicines, but you remember enough for from the times that you had goblin pox yourself in the past, that you're able to whip up a pretty near concoction with some some simple herbs that you have that are just kind of nearby around the camp as well, and are able to administer this to Mr. Tickles to get him feeling at least a little more vivacious than he was before. So that takes care of Eliza at least. And I know for the moment we are at 10, so I don't want to go over too late. But yeah, we'll put a pin in that, and we'll pick it up next time with the stuff with the Featherfall 5 and Mordain, and of course whatever's going on with Myron. We'll pick it up there so we don't go too late. And then probably have whatever introductions from Baza. I'll make sure he gets access to the table and get himself set up with whatever he's doing. So sweet stuff is underway. Shit's happening.
I'm Hulker.
Hell yeah.
Super.
Beautiful. All right, let me see if there's anybody else who's on. Oh, yeah, looks like Rob is. Okay, we'll send him over to Rob. Cool. Well, thank you guys for coming. I'm looking forward to more of this interesting setting as we get going here. So,
I
think
guess
you
I'm
gotta
going to go out with you. You ask him for a D8.
Oh, honker.
wonderful. All right, let's go raid.
No, I'm Honker.
He's Honker.
No, I'm Honker.
He's Honker.
Why?
All right, we'll send this off here.